Morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the happy hour. This is an hour of weekly acoustic, usually acoustic jams. Yes, we're back with the guitar this week. And on this week's show, I'm going all selfish. I'm playing all of my favorite bands. I've very carefully hand selected 12 of my favorite bands of all time. Let's be honest, there's probably 13 or 14 in there. We may have to pare down as we go, or even go into overtime, but we'll see how we go. I wanted to say g'day to everyone who is here live. So thank you for being here. If you do want to make a donation, you can do so by using the super chat right here on the YouTubes, or by going to the PayPal link, which is linked down in the description. Let's kick off with one of my favorite bands of all time. This is a band by the name of Weezer. And this is a little ditty of theirs. Goes by the name of Island in the Sun, one of my favourite Weezer tunes to kick us off here on the happy hour. 2, 3, 4. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. When you're on a holiday, can't find the words to say, all the things that come to you, and I want to feel it too. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. When you're on a golden sea, you can't need no memory, just a place to call your own, as we drift into the zone. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. We'll run away together, we'll spend some time forever, we'll never feel bad anymore. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. We'll run away together, we'll spend some time forever, we'll never feel bad anymore. Hip, hip. We'll never feel bad anymore. No, no. We'll never feel bad anymore. Weezer from 2001 and their song Island in the Sun. How the heck are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good time wherever you are in the world on this wonderful Sunday afternoon or Saturday evening. I've got a very appropriate beer for us here today. We're going with this one. This is the Stage Roadie. It's a mid-strength ale from Prancing Pony Breweries here, right here in good old Adelaide town. So we'll be enjoying a little Prancing Pony Stage Roadie. Check, check. Ta, ta, 1, 2, all that jazz. Cheers, everybody. Hope you're doing well. How are you? I'll say good day to you in just a jiffy. Important beveraging to do first. Let's say g'day in reverse order. Hello, Frigsy. Late night for Frigsy. Thanks for hanging around, mate. Princess LDG. G'day to you. Got mum and dad. We got Bleeding Red Beats and Angela Sinclair because of course we do. Love having them here every week. Mr. Thomas Christ, Mr. Mark, Bro, Mr. Barry, Glenn is here as well. Jade Starry just did an opening hour. I've got John Swanson who is here. I'm scrolling on up and I'm probably missing other people. If you're here and you're just lurking, that's cool. Say g'day if you want to. Don't if you don't want to, but just hang out there and do your thing. Yes, the Prancing Pony beverages there. Happy Pride Month too. I believe it's Pride Month at the moment. It's Pride year, it's Pride decade, it's Pride lifetime, people. But yeah, the celebration of these things is still good and important for some folks, and I dig it. All righty, Bleeding Red Beats promised to stay awake for the entire show. Well, if you're from the era of myself, g'day David. Hope you're doing well. David, was it you that I saw just released a song on Slaps, and I messaged you because you just released a song with Logic Pro iPad for the first time. Very cool stuff, my friend. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what's about this music, and look, if you grew up in the 90s, basically, if you're a teenager in the 90s, you're going to like a lot of what I like, because I like a lot of that kind of jam. So Weezer. Why do I like Weezer? Well, when their Blue album came out, it kind of blew me away. I'm a big Pinkerton fan too. I know it's not the most popular album, but I love me some Pinkerton. And their more modern stuff is cool. I mean, I haven't kind of got into it as much as I did the early stuff. I like their old stuff better than their new stuff. But yeah, love me some Weezer. Saw them perform the Blue album in Melbourne. Went over to the Sydney Myer Music Bowl. With Sydney Music Bowl's in Melbourne. Don't worry, it's confusing. And saw them play there. And then when this next band I'm going to play came to Adelaide, they were supported by Weezer, and I was like, win-win, because I love me some Weezer, and I also love these folks. They go by the name of the Foo Fighters. I like to fight some Foo, and I'd like to play some Foo for you right now. Run and tell all of the angels this could take all night. Think I need a devil to help me get things right. Look me up a new revolution. This one is a lie. Sat around laughing, watching the last one die. I'm looking to the sky to save me, looking for a sign of light, looking for something to help me burn out bright. I'm looking for a complication, looking 'cause I'm tired of lying. Make my way back home and learn to fly. G'day, Patrick. Hello, IRL. Think I'm done, losing the patience. It could wait one night. Give it all away and forgive me one last try. We'll live happily ever trapped if you just save my life. Run and tell the angels that everything's alright. I'm looking to the sky to save me, looking for a sign of life, looking for something to help me burn out bright. I'm looking for a complication, looking 'cause I'm tired of trying. Make my way back home and learn to fly. Make my way back home and learn to fly. Along with me, I can't quite make it loud. Might make this life my own and fly. Along with me, I'd make it loud. Try to make this life my own. I'm looking to the sky to save me, looking for a sign of life, looking for something to help me burn out bright. I'm looking for a complication, looking 'cause I'm tired of trying to make my way back home and to learn to fly. Make my way back home and to learn to fly. Make my way back home and to learn to. Consider Foo fought for another day. The Foo Fighters and Learn to Fly. I loved the Foo Fighters. I owned the very first single that the Foo Fighters released back before anyone really knew that this was just Dave Grohl doing everything. Their first album, the first song was called This Is a Call, first single, and then that album had I'll Stick Around and Big Me and a lot of those cool tunes on it, and then the colour and the shape was epic, and yeah, they just went from strength to strength, and obviously still in 2023 one of the biggest rock bands in the world, biggest bands full stop in the world. Very cool band by the name of Foo Fighters. I'm going to tell you a sad story about a band I've never seen live in just a jiffy, and then we're going to play a tune by that band. Ashley's having a frothy soon. Cheers. I'll stick inside. I've got to go out and get some beer. Yeah, go Prancing Pony. I highly recommend it. All good Coopers. Can't go wrong with a South Australian beer, Ashley. Yes, and as Thomas says, one of the hardest working bands out there, they're always playing somewhere. And that's the thing. When Taylor Hawkins sadly passed away more than a year ago, I thought for about 5 seconds that Foo Fighters might stop touring, but Dave Grohl just has playing rock music live to people in his blood, so I don't think that's ever gonna go away. Is there anyone I haven't said g'day to? I think I said g'day, Patrick. Hello to you. Hello to anyone. Barry, Glenn, I think I said g'day to you. If you're here and you're live and you want to support me, you want to help keep the lights on, because especially with the green screen, I definitely need the lights on. And shout out to my mates Andy and Stu from the Indigo Sunsets. This is the stage from the last gig they played before lockdown in 2020. And for some reason, I just love this picture. I think it's a great image, and it gives me hope, because now that people are back performing live again, I love the story behind this, and I love that it came from some mates from the other side of the pond. So my broken-hearted story, and that might give you a bit of a hint around what song we're going to play. My broken dreams, we're going to see Green Day. I've never seen Green Day live, but they're one of my favourite bands. They're definitely in my top 12 of all time, as that's why they're being played here today. But I was in line. Back in the days when you used to have to line up to go to concerts, I was in line, and I was about 5th in line, and then I was about 4th in line, about 3rd in line, and I was a bit worried because the line was moving really fast, and then as I got to 3rd from the front, it went really slowly, and then I could see big conversations going on with the people in front of me, and they got their tickets and they walked away and skipped off looking really happy, and then the person in front of me, they said, "I'm sorry, we've just sold out." So I got to 2nd in line for Green Day tickets, and they sold out. So, as much as I hate the online world of Ticketmaster and Ticketek and all the other ticket companies with all their fees and their terrible apps, at least you don't have to line. At least you can be disappointed from the comfort of your own home these days when you miss out on concert tickets. Friggsy says he saw the Foo Fighters maybe 2017 at Slane Castle. Wow, the rain was insane, but they were amazing. It rained? It rained in the... sorry. Sometimes those gigs are more memorable, aren't they? As annoying as it is at the time when you got the rain. All right, let's play another tune for you, shall we? This is a song by Green Day. It's called "The Boulevard of Broken Dreams." I walk the lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me, and I walk alone. I walk this empty street on the boulevard boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one, and I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk out. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone. Oh, 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 oh. Ashley, you're awesome. I'm walking down the line that divides me somewhere in my mind, on the borderline of the edge, and where I walk alone. Read between the lines what's fucked up and everything's alright. Check my vital signs to know I'm still alive, and I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk out. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone. Oh, oh, oh. I walk alone, I walk out. I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps. I'm the only one. I walk out. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone. Little bit of Green Day. One of my favourite colour-based bands of all time there with the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Hey, D. Sharon, I'm doing very well, actually. I'm having a nice, quiet weekend, despite the weather being a little on the dodgy side here in Australia. And look, I understand cold weather in Adelaide, South Australia, when it's 10 degrees with some showers. 10 degrees Celsius, that is. People are like, yeah, you suck, Johns. Wait till it gets snowy and icy and sleety and you can't start your car and you can't leave your house and your Uber Eats driver can't even get to you and you're eating beans from a can because it's a blizzard outside. And I'm like, yep, I get it. I understand. Except I don't, because I've never lived there. I'll have a quick beverage while I put this on the screen. And say a huge thank you to Ashley HM for the kind donation. It's folks like Ashley that help keep the lights on around here. And you'll be happy to know I can't reach my button, so I can't turn the lights off and do the joke. So I'll do that. I like my weather just a little on the dodgy side, says Bleeding Red Beats. Yeah, you know what? I'm the same. We were walking around yesterday, and again, it was about 12 degrees, spots of rain. But I was saying I would prefer 12 degrees and a bit rainy than 40 degrees and just ridiculous. That's my view anyway. Green Day will have their detractors, but they put an amazing live show. Billy Joe's interaction with the crowd is insane. Saw Guns N' Roses a few months later. Axl could learn a thing or two. Yeah. A band's frontman really can make it. Yeah. 90 in Arkansas? Yeah, that's hot. That's hot. So not 90, that's like, 35-ish degrees Celsius, which is hot stuff. All right. One of my favourite bands could be construed as more of a novelty style band, but I really dig them. In the 90s, when the Pearl Jams and the Soundgardens and the Alice in Chains and the Nirvanas were getting all depressed and getting all angsty on us, one band stood out as someone who just wanted to have a little bit of fun, kind of take the piss a little bit, but at the same time create some amazing music and some cool songs. And this is one of my faves from this particular band. My favourite food-based band. This is Cake, and a little ditty of theirs called The Distance. 4. Reluctantly crouched at the starting line, engines pumping and thumping in time. The green light flashes, the flags go up, churning and burning. They yearn for the cup. They deftly maneuver, a muscle for rank, fuel burning fast on an empty tank. Reckless and wild, they pour through the turns. Their prowess is potent and secretly stern. As they speed through the finish, the flags go down, the fans get up and they get out of town. The arena is empty, except for one man still striving and driving as fast as he can. The sun's gone down and the moon has come up, and long ago somebody left with the cup. But he's driving and striving and hugging the turn, and thinking of someone for whom he still burns. He's going the distance, he's going for speed. He's all alone in a time of need. Because he's racing and pacing and plotting a course. He's riding and driving and riding on his horse. He's going the distance. No! No trophies, no flowers, no flashbulbs, no wine. He's haunted by something he cannot define. Bow-shaking earthquakes of doubt and remorse sail him, impale him with monster truck force. In his mind he's still driving, still making the grade. He's hoping in time that her memories will fade, cause he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. The sun's gone down and the moon has come up, and long ago somebody left with the cup. But he's striving and driving and hugging the turns, and thinking of someone for whom he still burns. Cause he's going the distance, he's going for speed. He's all alone in a time of need. Because she's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. He's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. He's going the distance, he's going for speed. He's going the distance. Oh, there you go. I like to specialise at times in covers of songs that shouldn't be covered on a single acoustic guitar. Because John McRae of Cake, the way he sings, you kind of need to have like some horns and some bass behind it, and some like jangly guitars. But still, I love the song. And you have a go. You make it your own. That's the cool thing about covers. Some people look down their nose at covers. They're like, oh no, I would never play cover songs. But cover songs are fun. They do a few things. They give you an outlet, and they also help you learn how other people put their songs together and the different chord patterns and song structures that they use. And it lets you flex your creative muscle because you don't have to play them exactly like the original. In fact, it'd be bloody boring. Weezer, speaking of Weezer, who I played before, they released an album, their Aqua album or Turquoise album, whatever it was, and it was just cover songs. But they were played so simple. They were so well played that it kind of just sounded like the originals. And I don't know, there's something about cover songs that I think that they should be a bit like when Tori Amos covered "Smells Like Teen Spirit." It sounded nothing like the original, but was awesome and epic in its own right. So that's my that's my thoughts. And I'm going with it. Thanks, Cookie. G'day, Cookie. Hope you're doing well, my friend Ashley HM. Thank you for being here. The thumb and the little finger. Yeah, I do like to use the. I do like to use my thumb over the top, a bit of a jazz guitar kind of thing. The only jazz guitar thing that I can actually do. G'day, Cold Acre. You're across the ditch. Sorry, across the ditch in New Zealand. My New Zealand accent's worse than my American and worse than my UK. G'day, Garage Band Covers. Thank you for being here as well. Who haven't I said g'day to? I think everyone's there. We're all talking weather now. I know whenever I start chatting about weather, everyone gets the weather talk on. Thank you again for being here. Anyone else singing the back? Yeah. Hopefully you were doing the r's in the background for me. All right. So while Cake were having fun and just being a bit weird and wacky, I did also love a lot of the grunge acts, and we couldn't do a show like this without me playing some of my favourite grunge bands. And I don't know if they'd be number one, but they're definitely right up there. I've probably seen them as many, if not more times than any other band. Every time they come out, I tend to go along and see. And Eddie Vedder, speaking of frontmen, is quite the frontman. He puts on a good show. It's just a 5-piece straight-out rock band goes. Pearl Jam are pretty darn good. They're pretty close to up there with one of the best. So I've loved Pearl Jam since 10 versus Vitalogy, No Code. Then I kind of fell off for a bit, as most people did. Again, it sounds bad, but I think that there's been scientific stuff proven that the songs you listen to sort of in your mid-20s, I think it's as soon as you hit about 27 or something like that, you start not identifying with new music as much, and you get kind of caught in that. That's why, boomers love the 60s and 70s. Gen Xers love the 80s and 90s. The Ys love the 2000s and, the rap metal stuff. And then it's just going to keep going because, as much as I like new music and I love diversity, I love me some grunge. I love me some 90s grunge. All right, I'm going to try this one. Speaking of songs that you probably shouldn't play acoustically, let's try this one. Rest his head on a pillow made of concrete again. Oh, feeling maybe he would see a little better Saturdays, yeah. And now faces that are seeing and getting that familiar. Oh, yeah. Dark real, he can't help when his happy looks insane. Even flow, thoughts arrive like butterflies. Oh, he don't know, so he chases them away. Someday, he'll begin his life again, life again, life again. Kneeling, looking through the paper though he doesn't know how to read it. Praying, not something that never showed him anything. Understand the weather, though the winter's on its way. Oh, stealing, feel for between all the legal halls of shame, yeah. Even blue, thoughts arrive like butterflies. Chases them away, yeah. little bit of Pearl Jam and even flow. Thoughts arrive like butterflies. Yeah, one of the best, one of the greatest out there. A little bit of grunge again for your ear holes on a Saturday evening or a Sunday afternoon. I hope you are all doing well. Is it sick? It's sick, brah. Sick, brah, in New Zealand. I like it. I like it a lot. Speaking of new music, has anyone listened to Wet Leg? My kids are mortified that I like them. Think of the best 90s Indian Britpop and it's all that. Yeah. Look, here's an embarrassing story for you. I really like Wet Leg and I thought they were really cool. And when they were first releasing music, like they showed up on my social feeds and I'm like, oh, these guys are cool. And I reached out to them, not realizing that like literally overnight they exploded and became like one of the most famous bands around. So now I'm just like, they probably don't want to be played on your music live now. But it doesn't hurt to ask. So I did. So I embarrassed myself so you don't have to. That's the way I look at it. So yeah, Pearl Jam, as I said, I've seen them quite a few times. Saw them at Theberton. They always play weird venues. So I've seen them at like places like Theberton Oval, which is like a local football ground here, because they won't play at things like the Entertainment Centre or Adelaide Oval or places like that, because if you don't know the history of this, Eddie Vedder really hates things like Ticketmaster and hates the corporatification of things. And yeah, so he doesn't play at the venues that all the other big bands play at. I think this is definitely, I know, this sort of music's in my comfort zone. It's definitely stuff I've played before. Thank you to the wonderful Cold Acre. Melbourne folks are overrepresenting in your awesomeness here today, just quietly. Australians are stepping up and doing their thing. Ashley, Cold Acre, Jade Starr put on a great opening hour. I don't know, these Melburnians, you got to watch out for them. They're pretty darn cool. Just saying. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. It is. Look, it's a relaxing Sunday afternoon here for our friends in Australia. So why not? Why not hang out, listen to some music? And look, I couldn't play my favourite band. Here's the story behind this band. I have a CD rack. I have several CD racks back in the day, and I had you know those ones that were like, there was 30 ones and 60 ones, the black rectangles with the slots. You know that? Yeah. So I had a heap of them. I had maybe 5 or 6 of the 60 ones, and then I had one of the 30 ones. So I had maybe, 6 times 60 is, I don't know, I'm not good at maths. They say I had 200 CDs of other bands. I then had one 30 CD one just for Nirvana. It was my Nirvana box. I'm getting all choked up talking about Nirvana. I had one box for Nirvana. And you might be thinking, they only released 6 albums, Johns. How did you have 30 CDs? I bought every bootleg. I bought every single. I bought every EP. There was an EP called Hormoning, which was $50 for a 6-track EP. And I went to Muses, and I laid down my $50 hard-earned cash. At the time, I was probably making $120 a week, and I paid it because I love Nirvana that much. I even bought some weird bootleg interview album that was just terrible. Like, it was the worst recording I've ever heard. But I bought it. I loved it. I listened to it. So, yeah, they've been my favourite band. They were revolutionary, obviously. They led the grunge movement. Their song Smells Like Teen Spirit's been voted the best song in the world, like many times in many different places. But I'm going to play a different one. I'm going to play one of my favourite Nirvana songs. It's called Heart Shaped Box. She has me like a passes when I'm weak. I've been locked inside your heart-shaped box for weeks. I've been drawn into your magnet dark track. I wish I could eat your cancer when you turn black. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Forever and get to your priceless advice. wait, I got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice. Your advice. Bleeding in our kids, forgive no one just yet. Cut myself on angel hair and baby's breath. Broken hymen of your highness, I'm left black. Throw down your umbilical noose so I can climb right back. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice. Your advice. She has me like a passive when I'm weak. I've been locked inside your heart-shaped box for weeks. I've been drawn into your magnet carpet track. I wish I could eat your cancer when you turn black. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice. Your advice. Your advice. Your advice. The 90s will never die. You can't kill the 90s. Very cool track there from Nirvana, and a fun one to play a little bit acoustically. So what is that? Track number 7, lucky 7 of the happy hour. I hope you're all doing well. Appreciate you. We got Patrick says I used to have a bootleg cassette tape I put together of them at Off Ramp in Seattle just before they broke with Nevermind. Very cool. Yeah, I do love the early stuff. Bleach is an underrated album. So yeah, if you like Nirvana and you've never heard Bleach, it's from 1989. And when you compare it with everything else, the Bon Jovis of the world that were like rocking out Aerosmith and stuff in the late 80s, man, you could just smell it with Nirvana that they were about to do amazing things. Bleeding Red Beats, thank you. Cheers. Shipping the thumb love and shipping the kind donation. I appreciate it. And look, I know I highly appreciate whenever anyone donates to the channel. either via the donation here or via the PayPal. But I also realised that not everyone can afford to pay money all the time to support creators, and I get it. So there's other ways you can do it. You can hit the thumbs up button, you can comment, you can like, you can share, you can do all those cool things that don't cost you a red cent or even a blue cent. I won't even discriminate whether you like red cents or blue cents. Notice how not political and not ranty I'm being today? It's all about the music. Except I kind of just made it that way then. All right. I put out a poll on the Facebooks and I said, here's the sort of the short list of like 16 bands that I'm considering playing for this show, and which ones should I play and which ones should I leave out? And yeah, let's just say that a few people said that they never really got into this band. So I thought, instead of playing one of their more popular songs, I'm going to play a really deep B-side, deep cut. Because I'm like, no one likes them anyway. Maybe I'll introduce you to a song that you will like. And it's a very appropriate song for the happy hour, as we have a sip of Prancing Pony. It's a song by They Might Be Giants. And it's called Drink, which I thought was a very appropriate tune to play here today. So this is They Might Be Giants from their album Mink Car, and this is called Drink. I'll take back my pinata, it's wasted on you. Spinning that pool cue all over the room, and give back the blindfold that's under your shoe. Let's drink, drink, this town is so great. Drink, drink, 'cause it's never too late to drink, drink, to no big surprise. But what words rhyme with buried alive? What words rhyme with buried alive? You could be afloat for the 4th of July, based on the theme of wallflowers grow wild. Look through your peephole, you've won every prize. Let's drink, drink, this town is so great. Drink, drink, 'cause it's never too late to drink, drink, to no big surprise. But what words rhyme with buried alive? What words rhyme with buried alive? In your monkey suit on a cigarette break, the lunchtime crowd, they don't even blink. But you'd be sad if they did. But don't be sad. Let's drink, drink, this town is so great. Drink, drink, 'cause it's never too late to drink, drink, to no big surprise. But what words rhyme with buried alive? What words rhyme with buried alive? That was They Might Be Giants. Who are giants? Monkey soup? Monkey suit. In your monkey suit on a cigarette break. Drink, everyone. What are you drinking tonight, this afternoon, this evening, folks? Like I said, I'm on the Stage Roadie Mid-Strength Ale. I'm being responsible here today. It is a Moorish, tropical and refreshing, which I have to admit, I agree with. Moorish, tropical, refreshing. Gosh darn delicious. All right. Now, while we're on the topic of bands that I probably, being a rockin' grungin' kind of guy, I was not supposed to really like, is this next band. But I fell in love with this band. I fell in love with their instrumentation. I fell in love with Michael Stipe's lyrics and super weird dancing and bald head. I've actually modelled most of my fashion and most of my hairstyles these days on Michael Stipe. But yeah, I loved REM. I just thought that their combination of like melodies and harmonies and really cool rhythms and just different sounds really just sort of encapsulated a different vibe. And I'm actually proud of myself for being an REM fan because, again, I think at the time I probably shouldn't have been. I know that sounds weird to be proud of being a fan of a band, but yeah, I think if you weren't around in the 90s, you probably don't get that there were bands that you were allowed to like, and there were bands that you weren't allowed to like. And this is one that if you were a rockin' 90s grunger kind of person, you probably look down your nose at bands like this. Or maybe that was just around here. Maybe you're fine. Anyway, this is one of my favourite REM tunes. It is called The One I Love. This one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I've left behind. Simple prop to occupy my time. This one goes out to the one I love. Fire! This one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I've left behind. Another prop has occupied my time. This one goes out to the one I love. Fire! A little bit of REM. Yeah, Automatic for the People. An amazing album from back in the day. Yeah, very different stuff. Thank you, Ashley HM. Hope you didn't donate all your money to me, and I hope you got enough money to go buy some beers and have a quiet Sunday afternoon. But thank you for dropping by. I appreciate you. What are folks drinking? Yes, it's deep cut all night, except for, the really one. Vodka and good. Vodka and good buds. Enough wine for supper. Oh, come on, Mark. No, sorry, I won't encourage you. Apple cider at the Rogue in Wellington. Oh, Cookie, you put me onto a place that I've still not been to called Memphis Slims here in Adelaide. That's like a bluesy kind of club. And my wife went there with her sister-in-laws the other day, and she said it's awesome, and that I need to go along. So there you go, Cookie. Next time you're in Radelaide, mate, I'm buying you a cocktail at Memphis Slims. It shall be done. Drinking a Hurry Monster Jersey apple cider. Nice. I like it. And we had do we have some Savvy Bee action? I thought I saw someone with a Savvy Bee. Yeah, Barry. A Savvy Bee thinking of G&T, but Wine won the toss. Yeah, a person after my wife's heart. It's a Savvy Bee, a Rosé, and or a G&T. They're definitely her beverages of choice. How are we going on time? 10 minutes left. We've got like 7 songs to play, so alert the affiliates. We're going to be going along here. This is a band that there's a song of theirs that I usually play, but I've played it so much lately, and I know Tom York doesn't like it, so I'm going to be nice to Tom York and instead play another track from that album. So the band is called Radiohead. They are, some people love them, some people hate them. I love them. So I make no apologies for that. If you don't love Radiohead, you can block your ears for about the next 4 minutes. But this is one of my favourite Radiohead tunes. I think it's well written. I think it's got some interesting chords and some interesting changes in it. And hopefully I do it justice. Bleeding Red Beats and Angela, what have they got? This Saturday night special, the ginger brandy. Oh, I love it. Awesome stuff. All right, let's give this one a spin. This is Fake Plastic Trees, Radiohead. Green plastic watering can for a fake Chinese rubber plant. Fake plastic girl. She bought from a rubber man. Town full of rubber plants to get rid of itself. Where's her out? Where's her out? Where's her out? Lives with a broken man, that polystyrene man who just crumbles and burns. Used to do surgery. Girls in the 80s, but gravity always wins. Where's him out? Where's him out? Where's him out? Looks like the real thing, yeah. Tastes like the real thing. My fake plastic love. I can't help the feeling. Blow through the ceiling, just go around. Wears me out. Wears me out. Wears me out. What you wanted, if you could be what you wanted all the time, all the time. A little bit of fake plastic trees. Anyone have a fake plastic tree that they use for Christmas? I prefer a fake plastic tree. I really hate the real trees, those pine needles that go everywhere. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. Thank you, Friggsy. If I was wearing a hat right now, I'd take it off to you, sir. That honestly was excellent. Cheers. If you ever consider releasing a cover of this, you should definitely consider it. Should be a contender. Cheers. Appreciate them. You like them real? Yeah, look, it's probably better. As an environmental person, I should probably go more the real route. G'day, Tom. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. G'day, Russ. We've got some folks coming in just in time for the end. But yes, I kudos to folks who can tolerate the real ones. All right. I'm going to play a song by an artist called Ben Folds. Ben Folds 5. This band's obviously divisive because when I put out a few little polls and said to people, well, here's my list, who should go? And like almost immediately everyone was like, Ben Folds, get rid of Ben Folds. I'm like, really? I don't know. It must be because I love piano, and I don't know. I've always loved Ben Folds' music. I think it's different but similar enough to the stuff I like. But yeah, just having a piano-based lead instrument as opposed to guitar just really does it for me. So I'm going to play a Ben Folds 5 tune. This is one of the most fun songs. It does have a couple of naughty words in it, so if you could block the kiddies' ears, then there you go. Coldacre hates Ben Folds 5, but he loves Radiohead, so you can't win them all, mate. Take back your donation if you like. But this is fun because I get to say some rude words in it. So this is called Song for the Jumped. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you wanted to take a break, slow it down some, have some space. Well, fuck you too. Give me my money back. Give me my money back, you bitch. I want my money back. And don't forget. And don't forget to give me back my black t-shirt. Wish I hadn't bought you dinner right before you dumped me on your front porch. Give me my money back, give me my money back, you bitch. I want my money back. I want my money back. And don't forget, and don't forget to give me back my black t-shirt. So you wanted to take a break, slow it down some and have some space. Give me my money back, give me my money back, you bitch. I want my money back. I want my money back. And don't forget. Oh man, little Ben Folds 5. Goats. Is there a goat story in there? I like it. Glastonbury. Well, a lot of the bands I'm playing would have been at Glastonbury. I'm almost sure of it. Yes, goats do have it easier than us. I haven't ever heard that one before, Cookie. Ah, yeah, is it a deep cut? I don't know. It's got a really interesting music video where he starts like speaking Japanese halfway through. I don't really know why. Question from Tom. Am I amped up or straight into the interface? So I'm straight in. I'm using my Zoom Live Track LH. Just using a little bit of the built-in hall reverb, which is what you hear on my voice and guitar during the songs. And I'm just plugged into 2 channels. The Taylor here. The pickup on the Taylor is actually pretty decent. Does a good enough job that I don't bother messing about with plugging in or doing anything like that. So yeah, that's my setup. All right, I'm going to play a couple more tunes for you here. This one I'm going to play because it was hard to decide these last few songs to make the cut. This one makes it more for sentimental reasons because this is by a band called the Flaming Lips, and the Flaming Lips released an album called Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. And they released it a couple of years, about 2002, a few years before I got married. And when we were trying to work out what we should have as our wedding song, you know, the old wedding waltz, the old traditional wedding song, we wanted something cool. And we searched through. We tried some Radiohead, some Coldplay, some Ben Folds. They were all really freaking depressing. I don't know if you know this about people that wrote songs in the 90s and sort of early 2000s, but all the ballads were like really depressing. Like even the ones that people use that are like, what's that? There's a U2 one, with or without you, with or without you, that everyone uses. Isn't that basically saying, yeah, I can't live with or without you? Is that like, what are you going to do there? Anyway, so I decided that we would go with this one. This one is going to be our probably third to last song. We're going to go over time here today. What do I think of the new Ben Folds album? I kind of dig it. I kind of like it. I've only heard it a couple of times. The singles I've liked so far. As always, he writes some interesting, some thought-provoking songs. And this one is another thought-provoking song. This is from a band called The Flaming Lips. It's called Do You Realize? Do you realize that you have the most beautiful face? Do you realize floating in space? Do you realize that happiness makes you cry? Do you realize that everyone you know someday will die? And instead of saying all of your goodbyes, let them know you realize that life goes fast. It's hard to make the good things last. Realize the sun doesn't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning around. Do you realize? Do you realize that everyone you know someday will die? And instead of saying all of your goodbyes, let them know you realize that life goes fast. It's hard to make the good things last. Realize sun don't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning round. Do you realize that A very cool song from a very cool band by the name of The Flaming Lips. And do you realise? I've got two more songs to play for you here. We are into overtime. Blow the whistle. Yoshimi Battles is indeed one hell of an album. From Go to Woe, Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. Fight Test is amazing, even though... interesting thing, if you listen to that album, Fight Test as a song, sounds kind of like... Father and Son. And weirdly enough, I don't know if it was an homage to this, but in the final episode of Ted Lasso, the song at the end is Father and Son by Cat Stevens, Use of Islam, and then they play Fight Test over the end credits. Like, that's pretty funny, because it's almost like an homage to that song, but they did kind of get sued for it. So, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for the kindness. Yeah. Oh, very interesting. Georgie obviously picked it. Well, yeah. Like it was picked by us both, but it was a bit weird. Was it weird that we had a song that says, "Do you realize that everyone you know someday will die"? I've always wanted to do like a punk or a metal cover of that because I think it could have a very different meaning. All right. I'm gonna go with a couple more tunes. This one is about. This is a band that I saw recently that I really love. Brandon Flowers is the front man. They're called The Killers. I know some people don't love The Killers, but I just think that, again, keyboard-driven rock is kind of cool and underrated in my view. And I think that, especially the more recent albums from The Killers, really meaningful stuff, really good stuff. And this one, I don't know, it walks the line, this track, between being like just a fun sort of dancey song, but I don't know, it has a bit of a message too. So I'm going to play this one. It's called Human. I did my best to notice when the call came down the line. Up the platform of surrender, I was broad but I was kind. Sometimes I get nervous when I see an open door. Close your eyes, clear your heart, cut the cord. Are we human or are we dancers? The sign is vital, my hands are cold, and I'm on my knees looking for the answer. Are we human or are we dancers? 2, 3, roll. Pay my respects to grace and virtue, and my condolences to good. My regards to soul and romance, they always did the best they could. So long to devotion, you taught me everything I know. Wave goodbye, wish me well. You gotta let me go. Are we human? Are we dancers? Sign is vital, my hands are cold, and I'm on my knees looking for the answer. Are we human or are we dancers? Will your system be alright when you dream of love tonight? There's no message we're receiving. Tell me that your heart's still beating. Are we human or are we dancers? The sign is vital, my hands are cold, and I'm on my knees looking for the answer. You gotta let me know. Are we human or are we dancers? The sign is vital, my hands are cold, and I'm on my knees we dancer? A little bit of The Killers there, and Human as our penultimate tune. Was Brandon good live, The Killers? I like The Killers, but wasn't overly impressed live. Yeah, look, when I saw him, it was a few years ago, and it was like their big kind of stage show style, and it was a big spectacle thing. Look, it's not always my favourite thing, but it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, personally. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to the wonderful donators, Ashley H.M., Cold Acre, Bleeding Red Beats. Appreciate Shawl, as usual. Don't forget, if you're watching on the replay, you still got an opportunity. You can still donate to the cause. You can use the super thanks down there, or you can go ahead and use the PayPal link. Either of those are available options for you. I'm just finding my last tune here. We will play one more time with Feeling, and I wasn't going to do this because I thought it was too self-serving. Thought it was way too self-serving because I'm playing my favourites. Can I play a song by me? Let's ponder that. And I decided the answer was yes, because I think if you're making like all the songs that you've heard there have created me, and then I create music. And I think if you don't like what you're creating, you're probably making music for the wrong reasons. So if you're not listening to your own music, if you're not listening back to a song you've written and gone, yeah, all right, right on, man, then yeah, you probably need to try and make different music that actually reflects you and reflects your feelings. And there's very few songs that I've written over time that reflect my feelings more than this one. And it's weird because someone asked my wife the other day, they were talking and said, oh, has Pete ever written you a love song? And she was like, no. And then she was like, wait a minute, probably this one. This is the closest to a love song that I think I've ever written. It's a little ditty that we're going to go out with tonight. It's called Drinking With You. The bars and the pubs used to thrill me. With a couple of pints I was happy to stay. But the truth is there's nothing that I'd rather do than spend some time drinking with you. Some people live for adventure. Some people need the bright flashing of lights. But I'd rather kick back on a cold winter's afternoon and spend some time drinking with you. Back in the day I was eager to stray. Far away I like to roam. But now I will be where the beer and wine's free, here in the comfort of home. So the others may want to be different, choose not to listen to all that I say. But while they're lining up just to get in the bar, I'll be sitting here drinking with you. Yodelay-ho, where do we go? Somewhere where they turn the lights way down low. Yodelay-ho, where do we go? I'd rather just call it a night and roll. So the young ones might call me a killjoy, as their way of goodbye saying you'll only live once. YOLO, Grandpa, see ya. But while they're drinking whiskey for $12 a glass, I'll be sitting here drinking with you. I'll be sitting here drinking with you. let's just settle in for a few. 'Cause I'm sitting here drinking with you. That is going to do it for this week's Happy Hour. Yes, YOLO, MFer. That's what they'd really say, isn't it? Man, side note, but I was out the other day, I was having dinner with my wife. We were actually out somewhere. And, there was a table of people next to us. And there was these three ladies, and every second word was the F-bomb. And I'm like, no one likes a well-placed fuck more than I do. But when it's just every second word, it loses all of its meaning. So yes, all the kids and their swear words these days. Thank you, everyone. Let's say good night to everybody. Thank you, Mark Bro. Thank you, Frigsy. Thank you, Mum and Dad. John Swanson, Thomas Christ. Thank you, Tom Messe. I'm going to go with that. Bleeding Red Beats. Thank you for being here. The Mix Club. G'day, Rhett. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate you. Exactly, my show, of course I can. Thank you, Patrick, for being here. Angela Sinclair and Bleeding Red Beats, as always. Patrick Chandler sneaking on in here at the end. Thank you to Cookie. Thank you to Coldacre, Ashley, Jade, or Russ, everyone. Appreciate you being here. We're back with the guitar, and we'll be back again next week. And if I do say so myself, tomorrow's Your Music Live show. We got some amazing artists, some artists you've never heard before, some great songs that I've been listening to a lot of indie music in the last week, and boy oh boy, is there some good stuff out there. So you'll be introduced to some new artists. We got some classic tunes from some of the usual suspects. It's going to be a great time. So you'll be sent straight to the foyer, the lobby of that one, straight after this show if you're here live, or if you're watching on the replay, go and check out the Your Music Live show right here on the channel. All right, that's going to do it. As we say at the end of each and every show, please be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Keep creating, and I'll see you next time.